Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. On this channel, we spend our time looking at fantasy of all sorts, from books to movies to video games, and applying the characters within into the tabletop game Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. And today, we're going to be looking at one of the greatest villains that the modern age has seen. One that has been spoofed, and has been copied, and has been hailed as one of the greatest of modern literature. The evil sorcerer Voldemort from the Harry Potter universe. Voldemort is a wizard that attended Hogwarts, and as Tom Riddle, excelled and was an amazing student, but unfortunately his lust for power and immortality drove him to evil magics and to creating the Death Eaters, a group of terrorist wizards that scared the wizarding world to one of its most horrific moments, and thankfully was defeated in the end. But what would Voldemort look like in our favorite tabletop game? Let's have a look. Voldemort, around the pinnacle of his power, was 40 years old, about 5'9", slender 100 pounds, with gray skin, no hair, and green reptilian eyes. He had a background as an urchin, growing up in orphanages before he was found by Dumbledore. He is human, in fact, but he is a chaotic evil type, barely able to maintain some semblance of control over his evil desires, only really ruling through pure fear. But what kind of magic user would he be? I don't think he's a wizard. Wizards have their magic through serious study and careful planning, whereas Voldemort naturally wields most of his magic. In fact, he was capable of using a lot of it before he was ever trained as a wizard. This sorcerer nature in D&D is quite different than the wizarding nature, empowering wizards, but not necessarily giving them the same range as a wizard would be. I guess I should say empowering magic users. So Voldemort is a sorcerer, and, very aptly, he is a draconic sorcerer. He draws his power from his blood connection to the ancient wizard Slytherin. Salazar Slytherin was obviously a wizard that focused most of his magic into snakes and snake-like creatures, but draconic sorcery is about as close as D&D gets to that. But let's have a look at his stats. Strength and dexterity, not super high. They're about 10 each. He's no stronger or faster than a normal person. His constitution is 14. Although his rage is what powers his magic, he certainly can hang on to his focus. His intelligence is 16, reasonably well studied, and pretty smart as wizards go, or as spellcasters go. His wisdom is 14, although not the best strategist in the world. He certainly knows how to plan and how to analyze situations, but it's his charisma that sets him off. He is one of the most feared and well-known characters in all of the Harry Potter world, and deservedly so, for he is a level 17 sorcerer, capable of amazing, powerful magic. He speaks the common tongue, but he also speaks Draconic, which I suppose you could say is his parcel tongue, his ability to speak to snakes, but, fitting in to the D&D world. He can wield simple weapons, although no armor, and he is, in fact, proficient in several tools: disguise tools, thieves tools, and poisoners kits. These tools make him able to outwit other wizards. As a level 17 sorcerer, he has 105 hit points, but because he can't wear any armor, he unfortunately only has an armor class of 13. But he does wield a Wand of the War Mage, a very powerful wand that gives him extra boosts to his magic. The Staff of the Python, which I believe is basically his snake pet that he carries with him at all times, just animated all the time. And he does have a Broom of Flying. It is one of his peak objects that he uses to fly around at will. He is proficient in Constitution and Charisma saving throws, as well as the Arcana skill, the Intimidation skill, the Sleight of Hand skill, and the Stealth skill, being much more sneaky and much more familiar with the dark side of the wizarding world. His urchin background gives him the city secrets ability, which allows him to effectively know urban areas better than anyone. And because of his natural affinity for poison, his dragon ancestor would be a green dragon, giving him a tie to poison, both resistance to it and affinity for its spells. He has the Font of Magic, giving him his sorcery points and his meta magics, which we'll go over in a moment. He also has the dragon wing power, which technically means he could fly. To me, that's just that smoke magic that he uses to fly off in an emergency, which several other wizards can do as well. But he has one special power that I gave him that is very unique to Voldemort himself. I believe that Voldemort is a lich. His items, his Horcruxes, which basically serve as focal points for his soul, is very, very much like that of a lich. And although I didn't make him a lich specifically, I gave him the power of lich rejuvenation. If he is killed, then one of his Horcruxes will start to rejuvenate him within a certain number of days. And if the Horcrux is not destroyed, then he will return at a low level of power and can then regain all of his power in this respect. So Voldemort, while not called out as a lich in the Harry Potter world, certainly has that specific power of a lich. He also has several feats, being a level 17 character. The Shadow Touch feat, giving him some extra magic. The Observant power, allowing him to detect what people are saying from a long way away. The Warcaster feature, which is common amongst magic users. The Spell Sniper power. He is shown to use his magic at great distances. And then the Poisoner feature, giving him extra abilities with his poisoning magics. But what are these magics? Well, as a sorcerer, his spell list is somewhat limited, but he is able to use metamagic to power it up. Specifically, Subtle Spell, allowing him to cast without using words if necessary. Quicken Spell, allowing him to quick draw his action spells to bonus actions. Empowered Spell, giving him extra damage. And the Seeking Spell, which allows him to redirect spells to hit folks that he might have otherwise missed. And these spells are not ones to be trifled with. He has quite a powerful list. Mostly offensive in nature: Acid Splash, Chill Touch, Firebolt, and Poison Spray for his cantrips, as well as Prestidigitation, Mage Hand, and Minor Illusion. He then gains for first level Mage Armor, which gives him a little bit more defense, and Shield, as well as Witch Bolt. For level 2, he can cast Darkness, he can cast Shatter, but he can also use his magic to influence others' mind with Detect Thoughts and for stealth, such as invisibility. At level 3, he can cast the Fear spell, which he has quite a lot, as well as Vampiric Touch, draining the life of others. Level 4, he can cast Dimension Door, a pretty standard spell for most wizards. At level 5, he can cast Dominate Person, which is a very powerful spell, and if used correctly, basically is the Invictus Curse. Although at level 8, he does also know Dominate Monster, so he can use it on basically anything. At level 5, he also can cast Insect Plague. At level 6, he can cast Disintegrate, using incredible power to just overwhelm folks with destructive energies. Level 7, he can use the Cruciatus Curse, also known as Power Word Pain, and he can teleport. And at level 9, the spell that he attempted to use to kill Harry Potter and used to kill several other people in the wizarding world, Power Word Kill, or Avada Kedavra. These magics are banned, of course, by the wizarding world, but there's no concern for Voldemort. He will happily use illegal magic in order to get his way. What can you say? He is possibly the most iconic villain of the modern magic writings. He has immense power, a fearful presence that he uses to lead countless terrorist wizards and to lead a war against the good peoples of Hogwarts. And as an evil, basically immortal wizard without his Horcruxes destroyed, he makes for a phenomenal villain that keeps coming back time and time again. And I certainly could see him being the big bad in a mid to high tier campaign. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below, and keep your eyes peeled for more character creation coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.